In the most expensive restaurant in New York, a girl cried without stopping. She was the daughter of the most dangerous man in the city, Alessandro Romano, head of the Italian Mafia. He offered everything: toys, promises, fortunes. Nothing worked until a common waitress approached and said something no one would. Dare. She doesn't need anything else, sir. Just someone to hug her. The crying stopped. The entire dining room held its breath. And Alessandro Romano, accustomed to controlling empires, was left speechless before a simple gesture. That hug would change everything. Forever. Scene 1. The cry that silenced the world. The Bellissimo restaurant had the kind of silence that only money buys. Crystals hung from the ceiling like tears frozen in time. The smell of white truffle risotto floated between the tables, mixed with the expensive perfume of women who pretended not to be looking at the center of the dining room. But everyone was looking, because there, between untouched porcelain plates and wine glasses no one drank from, a brown-haired girl cried as if the world had ended. Anna Luca held the tray against her chest like a shield. She knew that kind of crying. It wasn't a tantrum. It wasn't hunger. It was the kind of crying that comes from a deep place where children keep things they don't know how to name: loneliness, abandonment, the emptiness of a mother who never came back. The man beside the girl tried everything: toys, promises, expensive gifts piled on the table like offerings to a deaf god. Nothing worked. Anna recognized Alessandro Romano before anyone whispered the name. Everyone in New York knew that face: eyes gray as steel, strong jaw. The kind of man who entered a room and the air became heavier. The kind of man who made kings tremble and police look the other way. But now, sitting beside his daughter who cried without stopping, he seemed just lost. "Julia, please." His voice was low, controlled, but there was something breaking at the edges. "Tell me what you want. Anything." The girl only cried louder. Anna didn't think, didn't calculate the risks. She left the tray on an empty table and walked toward the child. Each step sounded like thunder in the absurd silence of the dining room. She felt the stairs stuck to her, felt the collective fear vibrating in the air like electricity before a storm. Desperation, the fragility of a man who discovered that all the power in the world is worth nothing when you can't dry your daughter's tears. He said nothing for a long moment, then simply nodded. Anna crouched down to Julia's height. She didn't touch the girl immediately. That would be invading. She just stayed there, present, waiting. The sobs diminished gradually, like waves calming after a storm. "Hi, little one," Anna whispered, and her voice was a warm blanket on a cold night. "I know it's hard right now. No, it seems like nothing will get better." Julia raised her wet face, her enormous dark eyes lost like those of a wounded animal. "But you know what I discovered?" Anna continued. "Sometimes we don't need anything else. Just someone to stay close. Just someone who understands that sometimes crying is what we most need to do." She opened her arms slowly, offering refuge without demanding anything. "Can I give you a hug?" Julia hesitated only a second. Then, as if she had waited her entire life for that permission, she threw herself into Anna's arms and cried. But this time, it was different. It wasn't the desperate crying of someone alone. It was the crying of someone who finally found safe harbor. Anna held her carefully, one hand on the small back, the other smoothing the brown hair. She said nothing more. She just stayed there, solid and present, while the girl emptied all that accumulated pain. The dining room remained in silence, but now it was different. It was admiration, astonishment, the kind of silence that comes when people witness something impossible. When Julia finally pulled away, her eyes were still red, but no longer lost. There was something new there. Hope, perhaps. Anna stood up slowly and met Alessandro's eyes. He watched her as if she were an enigma written in a language he didn't know existed. She didn't need anything else, sir, Anna said quietly. Just someone to hug her? Alessandro remained silent. His eyes didn't leave Anna, and there was something new in that look. It wasn't gratitude. It was deeper. It was the recognition of someone who had just found something they didn't know they were looking for. No one. His voice was hoarse, as if he hadn't used those words in a long time. No one has ever told me. Not today, little one. But as she returned to the back of the dining room, Anna felt the weight of that gray gaze still stuck to her back. And when she looked over her shoulder, she saw Alessandro holding his daughter's hand. But his eyes were still fixed on Anna, as if she had just lit a light in a place he thought had been dead for a long time, as if she had just become the most dangerous thing in his world. Hope. Scene 2, The Impossible Proposal. 3 days later, Anna was cleaning empty tables when the manager appeared in the kitchen doorway. He was pale as rice paper. Anna, his voice trembled. There is someone who wants to talk to you. She frowned. Who? Outside. Black car. I think you should go. Anna's stomach sank. The night was cold when she left through the service door. The car seemed to devour the streetlight, black, gleaming with windows so dark they seemed to swallow reflections. The back door opened before Anna could. Turn around. Anna Luca. The voice was deep, polite, but had the kind of authority that didn't accept no as an answer. Anna swallowed hard and approached. Inside the car, Alessandro Romano sat with the same impeccable posture. Black suit, white shirt open at the collar. But there was something different in his eyes, less cold, more human. Mr. Romano. Alessandro? He corrected gently and extended his hand, inviting her to enter. 5 minutes of your time. It wasn't a request, but it also wasn't an order. Anna got in. I came to thank you. Alessandro held a white envelope between his fingers. For what you did for Julia. I just did what anyone would do. No. He shook his head slowly and there was conviction in his voice. You did what no one else had the courage to do. He extended the envelope. I want you to take care of my daughter. Anna blinked. As a nanny? As someone she needs. He paused, and for the first time, Anna saw real vulnerability. Julia doesn't have a mother, and since that night, she asks about you every day. Anna's heart tightened. Mr. Romano. Alessandro. Alessandro, she corrected. I'm a waitress. I'm finishing my degree in child psychology. I don't have experience with. She didn't need to finish with people like you, with the kind of world you represent. But he understood. Is it dangerous? He repeated the question she didn't ask. For me, it always is. For you, I'll only accept if I know you're safe, and I will keep you safe. Anna looked at the envelope, then looked at him. Why me? Alessandro hesitated, and in that moment, Anna saw beyond the Mafia boss. She saw just a desperate father. Because you made my daughter stop crying with something that never occurred to me to offer. What? Simplicity, humanity. He paused. Love without conditions. The air became denser. He extended a card. Black, gold letters engraved, Alessandro Romano. And below, an address. Anna's fingers brushed his when she took the card, and it was like touching metal heated by the sun. Electricity ran up her arm. This is madness, she whispered. Maybe. He smiled, small, almost invisible, but true. But sometimes, madness is the only path that makes sense. The car door opened. Anna got out before she could change her mind. But as the car disappeared into the night, she held the card against her chest and felt something she hadn't felt in a long time. Hope or fear. Sometimes the two were exactly the same thing. Scene 3, Marble Gates and Frozen Hearts. The driver didn't speak during the entire trip. Anna watched New York change through the window. Less. Concrete, more green, huge houses hidden behind walls that looked like fortresses. When the iron gate opened, her stomach turned. The mansion seemed to have come out of a couple of film. White columns, perfectly trimmed gardens. Fountain in the courtyard with marble angels pouring crystal water. But there was something about the security, guards standing at the entrance, about the cold and calculating looks that reminded Anna this wasn't a fairy tale. It was a fortress. And she was entering voluntarily. Miss Luca? A man in a gray suit waited for her at the door. Face of stone. This way! She was guided through marble hallways, old paintings on the walls. Some looked like originals by Italian, master's furniture that probably cost more than she would earn in 10 lives. But everything seemed cold, empty, like a museum where no one lived, only existed, until she heard it. Daddy, did she come? Julia's voice echoed in the hallway, and Anna's chest tightened. You came! Julia ran and threw herself into Anna's arms with such force she almost knocked her down. Anna held her, and, for the first time since entering that house, felt warmth. Of course I came, little one. I promised, remember? Are you going to stay? Anna looked over Julia's shoulder and saw Alessandro standing in the office doorway. He said nothing, but there was a silent question in those gray eyes. Are you going to stay? Anna swallowed hard. I'll stay. And when she looked at Alessandro again, she repeated with more conviction, I'll stay. He nodded, and for the first time, she saw something that looked like relief, or perhaps faith. The following days were a strange dance of discoveries. Julia clung to Anna like a plant to the sun. They played in the huge garden, drew with crayons, read stories before bed. And gradually, Anna began to understand. Julia wasn't spoiled. She was alone. Her mother died in childbirth. She grew up surrounded by luxury but without warmth, protected by armed men but without hugs. She had everything except what mattered most: simple love. "You're different," Julia said one afternoon as they painted with watercolors in the garden. The sun hit her, brown hair, making it shine. "Everyone here is afraid of Daddy, but you're not." Anna paused, the brush dripping blue onto the paper. "I am," she admitted, "but not of your father. I'm afraid of disappointing you." Julia looked at her with those dark eyes too serious for a child. "You'll never disappoint me." Anna felt her eyes burn. Julia's mother. "She's different." Alessandro didn't waste time with formalities. "She laughs, she plays, she seems happy." Anna didn't know what to say. "Thank you." His voice was lower now, almost breaking. "For giving my daughter back to me." Anna took a step forward, bold. She never left Alessandro. She just needed someone to see her, not as an heir, not as a responsibility, but as a child. He looked at her for a long moment, then slowly extended his hand. "Dinner, tomorrow night, just the two of us, to thank you." Anna hesitated, but when she placed her hand in his, she felt the warmth spread up her arm. "Just to thank me." He smiled. Small, dangerous. Maybe not just. And when their hands touched, they both knew. It wasn't just gratitude. It was the beginning of something neither knew how to stop. Something dangerous, forbidden, inevitable. Scene 4. The threat between the shadows. The weeks passed like turning pages. Anna and Julia created rituals, breakfast with pancakes and made up, stories, afternoons in the garden chasing butterflies, nights reading fairy tales where princesses saved themselves. "They don't need princes," Julia would say, crossing her arms with conviction. "Admiration, desire, need." It was on a rainy afternoon that reality knocked on the door. Anna was helping Julia put together a puzzle in the living room when a man in a dark suit entered without. Warning: gray hair, sharp gaze like a blade. "Alessandro." He ignored Anna completely. "We need to talk." Now, Alessandro was near the window, reviewing papers. He raised his eyes, and Anna saw his jaw tighten. "Vincenzo, not now." "Yes, now." Vincenzo cast a look at Anna. "In front of her? She takes care of my daughter. She's not a stranger." "That's exactly why I'm here." Vincenzo crossed his arms. "Bonds are cracks, Alessandro. Breaches wear. Enemies attack. You know this better than anyone." The air became heavier, charged with tension. Anna felt her stomach turn. She wasn't naive. She knew Alessandro lived in a dangerous world. But hearing it, said out loud, that she and Julia could be targets, made everything seem terribly real. Alessandro stood slowly. There was something dangerous in his movements, controlled, lethal. Bonds also saved Vincenzo. Save? Vincenzo gave a bitter laugh. Or weaken you? Children are not trenches. Anna's voice cut through the air like a knife. Both men turned to her. She stood, holding Julia's hand firmly. Julia is not a chess piece. She's a child. And if you think love makes someone weak, then maybe you've never felt real love. The silence was deafening. Vincenzo stared at her for a long moment. Then, surprisingly, he smiled. But it was a cold smile without humor. Alessandro. Thank you. His voice was low, intimate. For defending her. For defending this. Anna looked at him and, for the first time, saw beyond the boss. She saw a man trying to balance two worlds, the one of shadows and the one of light. Dinner, he said suddenly. Tonight, not to thank you, because I want to. Anna's heart raced. Just because you want to. Yes. She should have said no. Should have remembered that men like Alessandro were storm, and she had always been good at finding shelter before the rain. But when she looked into his eyes, she forgot all the sensible reasons. Okay, because I want to too. And in that moment, they both knew. They were crossing a line from which there was no return. Scene 5, The Dinner of the Unspoken. The table was too long for two people. Crystals shone under the soft light of candles. Instrumental jazz floated, in the air like smoke. But even so, Anna felt as if the space between her and Alessandro was too small. He removed his jacket and rolled up the sleeves of his white shirt to his elbows. It was the first time Anna saw him like this, less formal, more human, and something about that casualness made her heart race. You don't need to look so nervous. Alessandro smiled, a small smile, but true. I don't bite. Sorry if I don't completely believe that. He laughed, a low, hoarse laugh that echoed through the room and made something turn in Anna's stomach. Touché. The food arrived on perfectly arranged plates, but Anna could barely taste it. All she could focus on was the way. Hard, study harder, dream of a simple life. Simple. Alessandro repeated the word as if tasting rare wine. I haven't known what that is for a long time. Then tell me what you do know. He paused. For a moment, Anna thought he wouldn't answer. But then he spoke, and his voice was different. Lower, more broken. I know control. I know power. I know the weight of decisions that destroy lives with a signature. He put his fork back on the plate. But I don't know peace. I don't know what it's like to breathe without calculating the next move. I don't know what it's like to sleep without seeing faces of those I ordered to disappear. Anna felt something tighten in her chest. Do you miss it? What? Breathing. Alessandro looked at her, and for the first time, she saw everything. The exhaustion, the abyssal loneliness, the burden of being feared but never loved. of being obeyed but never understood. I lost the map, he whispered. Anna extended her hand across the table. Her fingers brushed his. Maps are drawn again. What if I'm the desert? What if there's nothing to bloom? She held his hand firmly. Deserts also bloom. They just need the right rain. Alessandro looked at their intertwined hands. For a long moment, neither moved. The world stopped. There was no mafia, danger, past. Just them. Just that touch. Just that impossible possibility. But then, Alessandro's cell phone vibrated on the table, breaking the spell. He released her hand reluctantly and looked at the screen. His expression changed in a second. From soft to hard as stone. I'm sorry. He stood up. I need to answer this? No. Keep your distance. Yes, double the security. I don't want risks. None. When he returned, the vulnerable Alessandro had disappeared. In his place was the boss again. Masks back in place. Is everything okay? Anna asked, even knowing the answer. It always is. Lie. She saw the truth in his eyes. Nothing was okay, and danger was closer than anyone imagined. Scene 6. The note that changed everything. The next morning, Anna found something that made her blood run cold. A note. Folded. Left under the windshield wiper of the car that picked her up every day. She picked it up with trembling fingers and opened it. Who takes care of the daughter, pays for the father. Anna's legs failed. The paper trembled in her hands like a leaf in the wind. Anna? She turned and saw Alessandro coming down the entrance stairs, his face already tense, instincts on alert. What is this? She extended the note, unable to speak. Alessandro read it, and something changed in his eyes. It wasn't fear. It was pure fury, controlled the kind of anger that doesn't explode but freezes everything around. Get inside. Now. He guided her inside, his hand firm on her back. Once in the office, he locked the door and turned. You won't go out alone anymore. Driver and security. Always. Non-negotiable. Alessandro. And I choose to protect you. And who takes care of Julia while you protect me? Anna took a step forward, defiant. She needs me, and I need you alive. The confession echoed in the air. Alessandro closed his eyes, jaw clenched. You don't understand the kind of people I deal with. What they do. Then explain it to me. Anna took another step until she was so close she could feel his heat. Because if you think you're going to push me away without a fight, you're very wrong. He opened his eyes, and what Anna saw there left her breathless. It wasn't just worry, it was desire, fear, need. It was everything together, burning. I'll take care of you, he said, voice hoarse. And I'll take care of her. They stood there, breaths mingled, hearts racing on the edge of something dangerous. And then Alessandro did something that surprised them both. He stepped back. I'll double the security. No one will touch you. I swear on my life. But as he left, Anna saw something in the hallway shadows, a security camera, blinking like an eye that never sleeps. And she knew with absolute certainty danger wasn't just coming, it was already inside the walls. Scene 7. Sparkle, jealousy, and shadows. Anna blinked. In public? Yes. He smiled, and there was something defiant in that smile. I want the world to know you're part of our family. Family. The word echoed in Anna's chest like a bell. The restaurant was even more luxurious than Bellissimo. Gold chandeliers, tables with impeccable linen, tablecloths, a pianist playing softly in the corner. Anna wore a simple dress, navy blue, discreet, but when she saw Alessandro's look, she knew that to him, she was the most beautiful woman in the room. Julia was radiant, pink dress, sparkly ballet flats, holding Anna's hand as if it were treasure. Everything was perfect until she appeared. A tall woman, impeccable blonde hair, red dress that screamed wealth and power. She approached the table with a smile as sharp as glass. Alessandro. Her voice was too sweet, false. It's been so long. Alessandro stood, polite but distant. Isabella. Isabella. The name sounded familiar. Anna remembered, daughter of one of the allied families, socialite. And, by the way, she looked at Alessandro, very interested. And who is this? Isabella looked at Anna with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Anna Luca? Alessandro's voice was firm. She takes care of Julia. Ah, the nanny. The tone made clear what she thought. Anna felt her face heat up, but before she could respond, Julia spoke. She's not just a nanny. She's my friend, and my daddy likes her a lot. Awkward silence. Alessandro looked at Julia with something between pride and panic. Isabella arched a perfectly drawn. Children change what they touch. If you had any around, you'd know. Isabella turned red. If you believe that. I do, Alessandro interrupted, voice icy. And today, Isabella, I only listen to whoever calms her storm. He pointed to Julia, who smiled proudly. Isabella was speechless. She turned and left, heels clicking furiously on the floor. Anna let out a trembling sigh. I'm sorry, Alessandro said quietly. I didn't know she'd be here. You don't need to apologize. But thank you for defending me. Always. His eyes were serious. Always. When leaving the restaurant, Anna felt a chill on the back of her neck. Instinct. A dark car was parked on the corner, engine running, windows dark as pitch. Stopped too slowly. Like someone writing a promise on the asphalt. Alessandro saw it too. His hand found Anna's, squeezing hard. Let's go! Quickly. But as their car drove away, Anna looked in the rearview mirror. The dark car was following them, and she knew. The threat was no longer a shadow. Now, it had form, it had intention, and it was coming. Fear, not for himself, for her. It was on a rainy night that everything changed. Julia was already asleep, and Anna was about to go to her room when she heard soft knocks on the door. Alessandro. He was without his jacket, just the white shirt, half unbuttoned, hair slightly disheveled, gray eyes dark with something Anna recognized: desire. I can't sleep, he admitted, voice hoarse. Me neither. They stood there, in the hallway lit only by the soft light of the lamp, and Anna felt the air change, become the denser charged. May I come in? Anna nodded, not trusting her own voice. Alessandro entered and closed the door, but didn't lock it, as if wanting to make clear she could leave at any moment, that the choice was hers. I shouldn't be here, he said, but didn't move to leave. I shouldn't want you to stay. Anna swallowed hard. But I do. They looked at each other, and Anna felt the world tilt dangerously. You give me back my breath, Alessandro whispered, taking a step forward. It's been a while since I've breathed for real. Then breathe with me. He raised his hand slowly. His fingers brushed Anna's face, a touch so soft it seemed unreal. She closed her eyes, her heart beating so hard she was sure he could hear it. If I'm a storm, he said, voice breaking, will you stay? Anna opened her eyes and held his wrist. It was slow, careful, as if he were memorizing every second, every sensation, as if he knew this moment could be the last. His lips were warm, firm, but at the same time gentle. Anna felt his hands slide to her waist, pulling her closer, and she allowed herself to melt against his body. The kiss deepened. Anna felt the heat spread through her body like slow fire. Her fingers went up to his hair, pulling lightly, and Alessandro moaned softly against her lips, a sound that made her tremble. He pushed her gently against the wall, but not with force, with need, with desire contained for so long it now overflowed. His hands traveled down her back, descending slowly, drawing every curve. Anna arched against him, feeling his body hard and hot pressed against hers. Anna, he whispered against her neck, his hot breath making her skin tingle. God, Anna. She tilted her head, giving access, and Alessandro kissed her pulse, where her heart beat out of control. Each touch was fire, each breath was promise. When they pulled apart, both were breathless, trembling. Alessandro rested his forehead on hers, eyes closed, breath ragged. I don't deserve you. That's not true. Anna dash dash. She put her fingers over his lips, silencing him. Don't ruin it. Not now. He held her hand and kissed the palm slowly like a promise, like an oath. And for a moment, everything was right, perfect, until 3 dry knocks on the window broke the silence. Both froze. Alessandro pulled away, instincts taking over. He went to the window and looked outside, his body tense as a rope about to break. The night wouldn't leave them in peace. And whatever was coming was closer than ever. Time was running out. Scene 9, the rupture that wounds. The next morning, Alessandro was different. Distant, cold, masks back in place. We need to talk. His voice was too controlled. Anna felt her stomach sink. They sat in the office. He didn't look at her. You're leaving. The words fell like stones. What? Anna stood up, her heart racing. Alessandro, what are you talking about? It's not safe. His voice was controlled, but there was something breaking at the edges. The enemies know. About you. They know about Julia. And while you're here, you're both targets. Can't, I won't let anything happen to you. Then protect me, Anna said, voice trembling. You said you would protect me. And that's what I'm doing. He finally looked at her, and there was raw pain in those eyes. Sending you away is the only way to keep you alive. It's not safety if it destroys the girl, Anna said, tears falling. Julia needs me. She'll survive. But his voice faltered. And you? Anna took a step forward, defiant. Will you survive? Because I know you won't. You'll go back to being the man I met that first night, alone, without air, dead inside. Alessandro closed his eyes. I always survive. Liar! Anna crouched and held the girl's hands. Little one, I. Don't go, Julia whispered, her eyes filling with tears. Please, please don't go. I promise to be good. I promise. You're already good, love. This isn't about you. Then why? Julia looked at her father. Daddy, why? Alessandro turned, unable to look at them. It's what's best. And in that moment, Anna knew she had lost. She packed in silence. Julia cried in her room. Alessandro locked himself in the office. When the car stopped at the entrance, Anna picked up her suitcase and looked back one last time. The mansion seemed bigger, colder, emptier. And the Romano necklace, hanging on a statue's neck in the hall, reflected a house that had become bigger then. The man who governed it. The door closed behind her, and the sound echoed like a heart breaking in half. Scene 10. When the body speaks louder. 2 weeks later, Anna's phone rang at 3 in the morning. Unknown number. Hello? Anna Luca. Formal voice. Mount Sinai Hospital. Julia Romano has been admitted. She's asking for you. The world stopped. He looked destroyed. Deep dark circles, wrinkled clothes. As if he hadn't slept in days. As if he were dying. Slowly. What happened? Anna whispered. He raised his eyes, and there was so much pain there that Anna felt her chest tear. She stopped eating, stopped talking, stopped living. His voice broke. The doctor said it's nothing physical. She's sick from sadness, from loss. She's dying from missing you. Anna felt the tears fall. She approached the bed and held Julia's other hand. Hi, little one. I'm here. I'm here now. Julia's eyes opened slowly. When she saw Anna, she cried. But this time it was relief. You came back. I always come back. Always. She looked at Alessandro. She needs us, both of us, together. He closed his eyes, and a solitary tear ran down the face that never cried. I thought I was protecting you. But I only lost you, lost both of you, and almost killed my daughter in the process. You didn't lose us, Anna said, extending her hand. I'm here. We're here. He held her hand, intertwining his fingers tightly. And in that hospital room, with Julia sleeping between them, Alessandro made the decision that would change everything. I'll never let you go again. Never, I swear. Hours later, while Julia finally rested, Alessandro whispered, I am gonna end it. Everything. The empire, the power, the mafia. I'm gonna hand it all over. At salvation. And that dawn, while the world slept, Alessandro Romano decided the empire ended there. For love, for peace, for a chance to breathe for real. Scene 11, The Price of Freedom. Negotiating with the law wasn't easy. Alessandro handed over everything: names, bank accounts, illegal operations. He became a protected witness in exchange for immunity and the chance to disappear with his family. Once you're out, there's no going back, the federal agent said, looking directly at Alessandro. You understand that? No power, no dirty money. You're going to disappear. That's what this is about, Anna responded, holding his hand firmly. Going, starting over, living. Vincenzo tried to stop it. Others tried to threaten, but Alessandro had already made his decision. And when the private plane took off at dawn, taking the three of them away from New York, he held Anna and Julia as if they were the only real thing in the world. Where are we going? Julia asked, looking out the window as the city lights disappeared. Home, Alessandro said, looking at Anna, to our real home. And for the first time in years, he smiled. True, free. Scene 12, Tuscany, finally breathing. The village in Tuscany was everything they needed. Vineyards stretched as far as the eye could see. The sun bathed the hills in liquid gold. And for the first time in years, Alessandro Romano, now just Alessandro, breathed. Anna worked at a local school, teaching children. Her belly grew round and full of promises. A girl, they said. They already knew the name. Lucia. Light. Julia ran between the vineyards, laughing loudly, free as she had never been. She had friends. She went too. I thought you were the most dangerous man in the world, Anna said one afternoon, laughing as he pulled her into a hug in the middle of the vineyards. The sun hit his hair, making it golden at the tips. And I was, he replied, kissing her forehead tenderly. Until you taught me to breathe again. Until you taught me that living isn't surviving. Julia ran to them, the Romano necklace shining on her neck, not as a symbol of power or empire, but as a reminder of where they came from, of how love freed them, of how they chose the light. Daddy, Anna. She held a bouquet of wildflowers. I picked these for you, Anna. For the baby. Anna crouched down, carefully because of her belly, and hugged the girl. Thank you, little one. They're beautiful. Julia put her hand on Anna's belly, feeling her little sister kick. She'll know I'll always protect her. Just like you protected me. Anna felt her eyes burn. Alessandro wrapped them both, and for the first time in his life, he knew what it was to be complete. Not through power, not through fear, but through simple, true, unconditional love. That night, after putting Julia to bed, Alessandro and Anna sat on the terrace. The sky was full of stars. So many, they seemed impossible. In New York, he never saw them. But here, they were infinite. Do you regret it? Anna asked quietly, her head resting on his shoulder. What? Everything you left behind. The power, the empire, the life you knew. Alessandro was silent for a long moment. Then he turned Anna's face to him and kissed her. Soft, slow, full of certainty. I left behind a prison, he said when he pulled away, and gained a life. How could I regret it? Anna smiled, tears falling. But this time they were tears of pure happiness. I love you, she whispered. It was the first time she said those words. Me, peace. They stayed there, embraced under the stars that witnessed the rebirth of a man everyone thought was lost. Scene 13, the ending that is just the beginning. 6 months later, little Lucia was born on a spring morning when the vineyards were in bloom and the air smelled of promise. She had her mother's eyes and her father's nose. And when Alessandro held her for the first time, he cried. He cried for everything he almost lost, for everything he almost destroyed, for everything he found when he stopped looking in the wrong place. Julia didn't leave her little sister's side. She sang lullabies that Anna had taught her. She promised to protect her. Forever. She was, finally, a happy child. On a hot summer afternoon, Anna was on the porch of the stone house they now called home, nursing Lucia. Julia drew beside her. Alessandro arrived from the workshop, still with grease stains on his hands, but smiling. How are my 3 girls? He asked, kissing the top of each one's head. Perfect, Anna replied. And it was true. Alessandro sat beside her, and Julia climbed on his lap like she used to when she was smaller. Daddy, she said, serious, are you happy now? Alessandro looked at Anna, at Lucia sleeping peacefully, at Julia waiting for an answer. Yes, little one. I'm happy. More than I thought would be possible. Good, Julia smiled. Because when you're happy, your eyes are different. They shine. Alessandro laughed, a true, light, free laugh. Is that true? Yes. Anna taught me to see that. He looked at Anna, and there was so much gratitude, so much love in that look that she felt her heart overflow. He wrapped her from behind, chin resting on her shoulder. What are you thinking about? He asked. About how strange life is, she said, turning in his arms. I entered that restaurant just to work, just to pay the bills, and I found everything. Found you, found Julia, found a family I didn't even know I was looking for. I know. He kissed her forehead. Me too. Do you think they still look for you? Anna asked, voice low. The enemies. The past. Alessandro became serious for a moment. Maybe. But they look for Alessandro Romano, the Mafia boss. And that man died. The man who's here now is. Just Alessandro, father, husband. He paused, then took something from his pocket. A ring. Simple, gold, with a small stone that shone under the moonlight. Marry me, he said. And it wasn't a question. It was promise. It was certainty. Anna felt the tears fall. Yes, 1,000 times yes. He put the ring on her finger, and when they kissed, it was as if the entire universe conspired in their favor. As if all the suffering, all the fear, all the pain had been worth it just to reach that moment. Epilogue 1 year later. The small village in Tuscany celebrated the summer festival. Music floated through the air, children ran between the tables. The smell of homemade food made everyone hungry. Anna and Alessandro danced in the center of the square. She wore a simple white dress. They had married in a small ceremony, just them, the girls and some friends from the village. Nothing luxurious, nothing ostentatious, just love. Julia danced with other children, laughing loudly. Lucia slept peacefully in her stroller, indifferent to the party. Around her, love. I chose you, he corrected. And you chose me back. That's more than deserving. It's a miracle. They continued dancing, and while the music played and the stars shone above, Alessandro Romano, the man who was once the most dangerous in New York, finally understood what it meant to be at peace. It wasn't the absence of struggle, it was knowing what to fight for. And he had found it. A waitress who stopped to dry a girl's tears, a girl who needed love more than luxury, and a simple life that was worth more than any empire. End.